You're the total package at running back as a football player, but what would you say is the attribute that makes you most difficult for defenses to deal with?
I think, I know this is a little different, but I think my silence on the field. I don't say a word on the field. And, I think that me just, not talking and just being so locked in. And, I have guys, trying to, get in my head every single play. And all I do is just look at him and smile and keep walking.
Smiley, right?
Smile.
Is your nickname still Smiley?
Yes, the nickname's still Smiley.
Yeah.
Bijan Robinson, a.k.a. Smiley. Is he going to be smiling see what I did there, in the first round? He's the guy who is in Tier 1 along with Jahmyr Gibbs
of
Alabama.
orange there.
But Bijan Robinson is the guy. He's the guy,
yes.
Right?
Right.
He's the one. He's the one. In an era where, we've talked so much about Austin Eckler trying to get paid. Nobody wants to trade for him.
I know.
Market at running back, $6.25 million is the top in free agency. The money just isn't there. And do you justify a high pick on a running back? I think those days are over, but we know what a difference maker a great running back can be.
Right.
We know how good he can be. But a top 10 pick is a lot to expect. We're continuing the conversation we had last segment about the Eagles possibly going Bijan Robinson number 10. It's the epitome of a luxury pick, but my goodness, it could take a team that's got Jalen Hurts and A.J. Brown and Devin Smith and turn it into one of the best offenses we've ever seen.
Exactly. You just go, oh, good luck. I mean, what do you stop? Bijan Robinson's special, I mean, he's one of those rare guys that, they don't come along that often to where he's definitely one of the top 15 players in the draft, Mike. There's no doubt about that. When you talk about his movement and then his size along with it, right, it's an easy 5'11". He's just a little south of 220 pounds. He's got feet and quickness, though, that are, through the roof good. Like, he can shake you and break your ankles like Barry Sanders, or he can, run a million miles per hour this way, cut at full speed and go the other way. He's great in the pass game. A guy he reminded me of, I wrote a name and I wrote holy SH ... next to it because I was like, it's LaDainian Tomlinson-ish. It's a guy that you look at and go, he could have 1,000 yards rushing and have 1,000 yards receiving. He's that type of football player. He is definitely first-round worthy. The question is just does he go in the top 15? Or does it go into more like, hey, we're scared to take a running back with all the things you talked about, and does he fall into the 20s? And then the guy, Jahmyr Gibbs, that's why I put him in. He's not as good as Bijan Robinson, but the only difference is really the size, the power element maybe. But Jahmyr Gibbs from Alabama, Mike, I want to make it sure and clear, he is a first-round draft pick. He is special. He has 3 rockets up his ass, just like Bijan Robinson. He's just a little smaller and quickness-based that way. But both are phenomenal, but Robinson is a special guy that because of his size, too, you feel like he can last the test of time a little bit longer than, a guy like Jahmyr Gibbs.
It really is just a hell of a conundrum for these teams because you have to balance out, okay, what am I getting if I invest a first-round pick?
Yep.
What could I get with these other guys that are out there that can come in and play? Every major college has a guy who I think could play running back at the NFL level. If you can trust him to hold on to the football, if you can trust him to pick up blitzers, and if you can block for him.
Yep.
There are guys out there. The supply outweighs the demand. Are these guys in Tier 1? Jahmyr Gibbs and Bijan Robinson, are they so good that they separate from the pack? And there is value. Here's the value in using a first-round pick on a running back. You control his rights for 5 years.
That's right. That's the big thing.
You don't have to worry about paying him again until year 6, and you could tag him like the Giants have done with Saquon Barkley.
Right.
Tag him for year 6. Tag him for year 7, and then thank him for everything in year 8 and let him become a free agent at a time when there's no tread left on the tires. That's one of the problems, and this is one of the inherent inequities for running backs in the current system of paying rookies. You do your best work before you ever get a shot at getting paid for the work you're doing. The best years of Bijan Robinson's career may be when he's slotted in this rookie contract, wherever it falls. It's still not the kind of money he's going to deserve, Chris, if he has the impact that you think he can have.
No, you're right. It's going to be probably screwed over regardless, right? I mean, that's the way it works. It does. But I think, what you said, there's the value of that whole scenario you talked about, to have that fifth-year option and then make it go into a sixth year that way, right? And I think we got to the thought process of these guys has to be adjusted anyways. Again, the money is not that big to where – it's a 4 or 5 year rental. I think too many times right now when I hear conversations about these running backs, people talk about it like it's a thing 7 and 8 years down the road. And, you're explaining it the right way. No, it's not. It's 4 years, and let's see if he's still good and still got tread on the tire, and then we'll figure it out from there, right? But 4 years is forever in the NFL. So that's where I wouldn't worry about it as much maybe, especially if I was a team that goes, wait, we got a lot of the pieces, and this guy's special. Right? That's where I would think it. I mean, hey, they might think of Jahmyr Gibbs at what's the other pick they got? 30? They could think of that then there too. Now, let me just explain. Jahmyr, I said this guy is like could be LaDainian Tomlinson and Bijan Robinson. Jahmyr Gibbs is like the name I wrote down was Christian McCaffrey. I mean, he's just the same build. He's 3 pounds lighter. He runs with better power than his 200-pound frame would explain. He could play receiver in the NFL just like McCaffrey. He's that good of a route runner, Mike. So those are two guys that I expect to go in the first round. There's no doubt they're first-round talents. It's just about the running back value, as you described quite well.
Well, and that really is what it comes down to, that balance, because you can get a guy in any round, in every round, or in no round whatsoever. Undrafted, you can go out and find yourself a great running back. Let's talk about the other Texas guy, Rashawn Johnson. You've got him in Tier 2 as your number 3 guy. Where do you think he lands, and what drew you to him?
Well, he's, he's big, right? He's 6 foot, he's 220, has square shoulders, and like the straightaway ability to accelerate and hit the hole, Mike, it's actually right up there with Gibbs and Bijan Robinson. Now, it's the other stuff that's not quite. He doesn't have the quickness. He doesn't quite have the top-end speed that those guys have. He's a little bit more of a car crash runner than those other two guys, too, and I should have brought that up for maybe being part of the reason they last longer, right? But Rashawn is a little bit more, hits the hole 1,000,000 miles per hour, and, you're in the hole. If he can maybe just do a little quick feet and go, he'll go. But more than likely, he's going to lower his shoulder and run your ass over. And he's the kind of guy that's going to wear on you. And it's going to be a lot of 10 and 15 and 12 great 12-yard runs that are great that way, Mike. I think he's a top 50 pick for me. I know a lot of people go, well, how could he be the backup and whatever? He's a starting college running back. I don't know. How did Ricky Williams back up Priest Holmes at Texas for a year? How did Trent Richardson back up Mark Ingram, right? It happens at these big-time powerhouse schools. So he's unfortunately was stuck behind an awesome, awesome talent, but this guy's an awesome talent as well, and I do think he goes in that first half of the second round.
Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.